Hi, Linda Basso here, and I want to talk about what happens when you don't own your own power in your marketing or even in your greater business. All right, now stay tuned to the end where I'm going to share one super tool for stepping back into your power if you've kind of stepped out of it or let it slide a little bit. Now, what do I mean by standing in your power? All right, so I've done other videos on this, check them out. Or if you want to go to my blog at lindabasso.com, I've written a lengthy article on it. But basically, what I mean is that you feel confident and competent and grounded in three places: in who you are, in what you want, and in what you can do. Now, I know that's a tricky thing. Sometimes I feel confident and competent and grounded in one of those areas, but in all three, it's like, okay, that's a sparkling moment. But that is really what we want to head toward. Okay, so what about when you're not sitting in your power? What happens? What can happen in your business? The first thing is you can be wishy-washy in your boundaries, right? Because you're not sitting in that grounded, confident place of like, this is where I am, this is where my business is, this is what I can do, and knowing that then that's a strong place to negotiate with someone else. If you're sitting in that uncertainty and that doubt, and you're not quite sure if you're fully in your power, then you can say yes when you mean to say no. Anyone else ever done that, right? So and then you can find yourself overcommitted, or you can find yourself resentful because you have too much going on, or that you said yes to something that you didn't really want to. You can feel coerced a little bit, or like obligated, right? And that's not a great place to do your work from, or to be committed to other people from. So you can be overcommitted, but you can also commit incorrectly, right? So instead of committing from that honorable integrity place and that joy of really wanting to be of service to something, you're coming at it from obligation and resentment. Okay, so you also might charge less than you're worth. Okay, so when you're not firm in your boundaries, you're wishy-washing them, you might charge less when that client asks if they can have a discount, or they ask you if they can do this in a different way, or can they have an exception for X, Y, or Z. Now, as you start to get busier in your business, having systems set up and having a sort of operating procedures and the way something flows through your business is sort of mandatory. So when someone asks for an exception to that, that's fine and good when you're just starting out, but as you get going, that when someone asks for an exception or to be in a different pricing structure, it can actually cause a lot of stress in your business and in your flow and in your ability to manage things. Plus, if you're not getting paid what you're worth, or not getting paid what your time you're putting in, again, that resentment can come up. And I've actually seen this go the other way. I've actually seen people overcharge when they're wishy-washy in their boundaries, right? Because they're not well seated in their own power and their own value. They're actually questioning what their value is. So they're actually looking outside of themselves to get that value reflected back. So they might ask for much more than a market price for something. I've seen businesses do that. And then, of course, they're not selling at the pace that they hope to sell because their pricing's too high. But they need that worth fix coming in. So it gets complicated. So bottom line is, when you're in your power, boundaries are a natural extension of that. And then they're both protective and flexible, sort of as needed, as is appropriate for the situation. So what's another thing that will happen if you're not well seated in your power is that you won't see all of the opportunities in front of you. Okay, so you might be worrying about what other people are thinking about you, or thinking about your business, or thinking about what actions you're taking in your business, or if you stepped into taking that action that you'd like to take, right? Then you're like, oh, what are they going to think about me? What are they going to say about me? And if you're thinking about what other people are going to say or do or react to your business, you're not really hearing yourself. You're not really hearing yourself and your business and what's true for you, right? You're in that worry mind and wondering what other people are thinking. So that's going to limit your capacity to see opportunities. And then you might go into people-pleasing mode, right? Like wanting to do what you think other people want you to do, or what you think you, quote, should do, those internal limitations that we have. And if you're in people-pleasing mode, or you're up in your own limitations, of course you're not going to see the real opportunities that are around you, because you're going to be coming at it from this place of should, or this place of the way other people view something. So you might miss opportunities that would be perfect for you. They're not maybe perfect for that internal voice of doubt or criticism, but they're perfect for you if you would take that risk. But you won't see that because you're in this other mode. And you won't be confidently scanning the future to ask, hey, what would I like to do next? So when you're in your power, when you're well seated in your power, you actually do that. You kind of look ahead and you say, well, what would I like to do next? What would I like to have happen next in my business, right? So and that's how you create a lot of opportunity, is to look ahead and make some firm decisions for yourself about what you'd like to see happen. So when you're in your power, you're going to see many opportunities ahead. And rather than feeling overwhelmed by that, you're actually going to be very choosy about what's up next for you. Okay, sounds good, right? Okay. And then the third thing that can happen if you're not well seated in your power in your business is that you won't put yourself out there in a strong way. Okay, so you're going to be, this is when I see, especially with women entrepreneurs, they're apologizing unnecessarily. Oh, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. Kind of like apologizing for how they're moving through the world. And that is not a strong way to put yourself out there. Then you also may not be speaking up or sharing your point of view or your insights or making a contribution in a strong enough way, right? You might be holding yourself back, kind of saying, oh, that's, I'm not sure if this is the right time, or I'm not sure they want to hear that. So instead of being a contributor and a leader and sort of, guiding the situation along and fully participating, you might be holding yourself back in some way. And of course, that's not a strong way to come across. And then you might be acting sort of either defensively or passively rather than assertively. Right. So, of course, we don't want to be aggressive in our world or with other people, but we do want to be assertive, and we want to have that sense of the strong self coming forward, that strong, powerful woman who's willing to negotiate with other people, who can hear another point of view, but definitely has her own point of view. So you'd much rather be seated in that than acting defensively, trying to, battle and protect your point of view, but you also don't want to be overly passive, right? And just letting things sort of wash over you as they would like to. So bottom line is, when you're in your power, you put yourself out there responsively, not reactively. And responsively means you're present, and you're grounded, and the response is appropriate to the situation. So, okay, thanks for sticking to the end. Now I'm going to give you that super tool to get your power back if you feel like it's slipped a bit, and that is to declare it out loud. Okay, so you can declare it out loud just like this out to the world. You can declare it to yourself in front of a mirror. That's a very powerful, self-growth tool, to actually talk to yourself in a mirror and engage your reaction and see the emotions that are coming up. Or you can declare it in writing. Okay, and so you really just say, I am willing to be powerful in my business, or I am willing to be powerful in my marketing. Okay, so when you make that sort of declarative statement and you make it out loud, or you make it in writing, or you make it to yourself in the mirror, you're actually acting in a powerful way, and you're declaring to the universe that this is your intention, that this is something you're actually willing to do. You're willing to let go of all the doubt and the uncertainty, and you're willing to hold this power. And it's that willingness that actually lets it. That's the first step to it coming in. And then of course you want to call back all your energy, all that scattered energy you may have left around the world. When we're not in our power, we tend to leak energy out, and we kind of like leave little bits over there with that apology, and a little bit over there where we felt badly, or over there where we caused some drama, or we were worried about what someone else was thinking. So just call your energy back to say, I command all my energy to come back to me, or I call back all my energy, all that energy that I may have left somewhere else in the world. I call it back to me now. And energy has to follow sort of our attention. So if you're calling it back to yourself, then you're going to feel more whole, more seated. And if you just declared that you're willing to hold power in your marketing or in your business, then that's going to go a long way to you feeling this sense of power. So have fun. As always, I'm open to your questions or your thoughts. And this is Linda Basso signing off. Take care.